Hey Wade, how's it going?
Oh, it's good to hear your voice.
How's it going down in Georgia?
I I would suggest never having alternator in a car go out on you. It can be really a pain in the butt.
An alternator in a car.
Yeah, when I was growing up, I replaced an alternator in an old car back in the day, and it might have cost me total just under $200.
Okay. What does it cost you
Someone,
this
someone
time?
laughing knows where I'm going. It, it was $1,400 said
Wow.
and done. That doesn't include the tow that I had to have taken it there. Uh,
Well,
and it was bad.
Oh, that doesn't sound fun at all. We've had one of our cars is in the shop and it's been there for 2 months, just sitting there for 2 months, and it's just a nightmare. Luckily, there's a warranty on it, but yeah, I can relate to you. I can relate.
Yeah, it was not what I was hoping for, and it came at a very poor time.
Yeah, not what you want to do on a Wednesday, right?
Exactly. What I want to do is I want to listen to this and find ways I can make a lot more money so that these kind of things don't even bother me.
Yeah, that's what I did. That's what I did. Yeah. This is an interesting one. This is a little bit different actually to what we not to what we normally cover. It incorporates what we normally cover. It is a little twist on it, I suppose, based on what I've been doing very recently in the last 2 weeks, and stumbled upon this way, and it's actually working really well. So I thought, you know what, I'd share. Obviously, I was up basically all last night tending for a dog that wouldn't stop crying. So that was fun. And then at the vet this morning and all basically early afternoon and whatnot. So I thought, you know, what better time to try and come to this? Probably a little shorter. I mean, still, I say that every week, and Olivia is probably going to laugh at me, but I say shorter every week, but it's probably going to still be about an hour. But that's short for me. So about 18 slides or so we're going to go through, and I think this will be interesting, a bit different, a bit unique, I suppose. And yeah, we'll dive in a few moments. I'm just giving it a few more minutes to let people hop into the room. So we'll go around and see if there's any questions that anyone has. Now, I did set up.
18 sounds short indeed.
Yeah, it is. It's usually 40 slides, right? It's usually 40 slides. Now, this is an idea that I think is very actionable. I think you're going to take this and you're going to be able to launch. Basically, you could do it this afternoon, you could do it tomorrow, and it can be very, very impactful. So, yeah, we'll keep it focused today more than anything. And yeah, I'll give it a few more minutes because the email automations that I set up, I was delayed setting them up, which meant that I couldn't select the right timings. So I couldn't send the 15-minute reminder. I could only send the going live now reminder. So I have to give folks a few minutes to see this. So any questions before we'll come back to questions at the end as well. But are there any quick questions that someone wants an answer to? Feel free to ask while we wait for 2 or 3 minutes. Anybody?
I have a question, but it's not a quick one, so I'll wait.
Okay, sure. No problem.
It's about A2P, so it's definitely not a quick question.
Okay. I think you'll probably find that support come back. Is it the question you asked in the chat?
Yeah, but it did not. What was stated there was not what I'm saying, and which I posted a picture of what result I was getting. So I'll go back to the chat and see if there's anything.
Okay, you'll probably find they'll come back while we're on this call as well. Right. So have a look and keep an eye on that. But yeah, A2P, the love of my life, we'll call it.
Yeah, I will say, yeah. So I have my demo AI electrician agent out there, and I don't know if anybody else has been working on this, but it comes up with the recommendation of Chat 4.0. I switched it to Chat 5.2 because I noticed that there's this like weird delay between sentences in the conversation, and I was able to, with 4.0, get it off track. But when I switched it to 5.2, it was like night and day difference.
Really?
So my recommendation is to do that, and it would not get off track. So it wouldn't. In 4.0, I could actually make it create a poem about her name, different stuff. Could not do that in the 5.2. It strictly stayed on track with the knowledge base, of electrician, and so I like that. So
Sure.
I just wanted to share that.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
good stuff.
I think the usage costs are slightly higher for 5.0, but I think you'll find that the amount of messages that pass through are less because they're more to the point. So you probably find that it just equals out much the same as it would anyways. But yeah, all right. I think we're about good to go here. We're about 17 of us here. So okay, it's a good number. If I pause at any point, folks, just be aware that I'm probably letting someone in the room. Usually I have to hop tabs to do so. So if you have questions throughout as we progress through this training today, let me know. You can let me know in the chat, and you can also unmute yourself and just talk over me. It's not a problem at all. I'm happy to answer whatever questions. Sometimes I don't see the hands raised, in the chat room itself. I don't see the hands raised, so just talk over me and I'll pause and we can answer your question. But basically, today's training is going to be somewhat of I'm going to give you a bit of insight into what I'm doing with one of my clients at the moment and how we flip this and how we framed it, I suppose. We flipped it as well and we framed it to fit what we're doing, selling AI employees, database reactivation, review systems, the works, all these systems, and basically been able to infiltrate different networks, okay, and trying to turn working to get one partnership into 100 different customers or 100 different clients or prospects or leads. If we do that 10 times over the course of 12 months, which is basically working 10 collaborations, the numbers stack up quite nicely there, right? We've got 1,000 potential prospects with the stamp of approval, as you'll see in a few minutes. So yeah, if you do that 10 times per year, work on these collaborations, get 10 of them over the course of a year, and you'll see it's quite easy to get them because it's a win-win-win, right? That's the way we have built this. So yeah, let's dive into the training. Now, as I said, this is going to be very actionable and very, very specific as well. So if you want to sell any service, could be anything in the world of marketing, AI employees, database reactivation, reviews, referrals, literally anything, I'm going to show you how you can infiltrate referral networks and pick up 10 clients at a time. Now, that number there, 10 clients at a time, you might think that sounds a lot. I'm going to show you why that's not a lot. I'm going to show you why this number here is stacked. And there's a very specific way to do this as well. Now, as I said, I'm currently doing this very, very effectively for one of my clients. And it's something that opens the doors. It's something that you get a lot of responses, a lot of demand, and you don't really have to put too much effort into it, to be honest with you. There's not too much work that goes into this. It's just leverage, right? We're just leveraging volume here. But this will make more sense as we progress. Now, here's the reality. With our service stack, we can help pretty much any small business. We have the systems, the processes, and the automations to do all of that. Our delivery cost is extremely low, which means this is very profitable and we can remove a lot of the friction. So because of that setup, because our fulfillment cost is super low, we can operate with offers that nobody else can offer. They all want to charge large setup fees and things for the work, which means they'll never get access to these networks. Because of the fulfillment systems, because of our profit margins, we can create offers strong enough to be able to get into these networks. And once you're into these networks, the world is your oyster. It's basically a 100-to-1 strategy, right? So these are your partnerships and these are the partner network, okay? So every single one of these that we develop, we get 100 ideal prospects with the stamp or seal of approval from their trusted partner whom they've already purchased from, okay? And this isn't affiliate networks or anything like that. That's not what we're doing. This is a collaboration. Now, first of all, the question is, what is the referral network strategy? And I'm going to explain this using an example that I launched for a client 2 weeks ago. And the reality is, instead of chasing customers one by one, we go to the places where they already congregate, right? Where they already are. And we work into those places. We become the trusted person in those places. Think about networking groups, right? That's one small example, but it's a good way for you to think about it. If you become the trusted person in a networking group, for example, all of a sudden, lots of people send you new business. It's just the way it works. Whenever there's a question about who does the marketing, who does the systems and automations, your name comes up, right? That's what typically happens. So that's a small frame example of this. I'm going to show you the much broader way of how we can actually take this, how we can control it and use it to our advantage. Now, the gatekeeper here isn't the business owner anymore. We're not trying to sell the business owner anything. What we're doing is we're working with event hosts, group organizers, and society chair people, right? These are the gatekeepers. But the reason we can bypass these gatekeepers is because we're framed at helping their business, right? We're helping their business for free at no cost. We're making their offer stronger to their own customers, and there's no drawback for them at all. Nothing. So we can get past these gatekeepers a lot more effectively and a lot more easily. And their members become your customers with the official stamp of approval. And that's so important. It's not a case of you're just pitching people. No. You get the official stamp of approval. That's the difference. So you're going in as the referred partner, which makes it much, much, much easier for you to sweep up new business. All right. Now, as I said, I'm going to take you into an example of the client that I'm working with right now. Well, the reality is the clients I've been working with for 7 years, and this is one of the things we've developed over the last 2 or 3 weeks. And this client in particular, they work with small businesses and they form an essential part of their operations. So what I mean by that is this client forms part of their operational fulfillment system, right? So for example, if they have a product, this client helps in the production of that product. So for example, if the customer, if the business owner makes a sale, our client processes their order, does what they have to do, and can then provide the product to provide the product back to the business to then be sold. Without my client, they cannot operate. The business can't operate. They can't sell any products. They don't have any products to sell. So they're like the middleman here. So they work with small businesses. They form an essential part of the operation. If my client gets a new customer on board, the customer lifetime value is extremely strong. It's extremely strong. The challenge that they face is getting the customer on board, because as you can imagine, any form of operations, anything where they're making sales already, the end customer's making sales already, they have customers, they have orders, they have products going out, getting them to change that vendor, that provider, very difficult. It's not easy. It's not just about price. It's about speed, quality. It's about trust, consistency. There's a lot of different moving parts. But again, the retention is very strong. So the goal is, how do we get these customers on board? How do we take them from their existing suppliers, and how do we get them to my client? That's the challenge that we face. So what we did was we found where all of their customers gathered. Right? We found where they gathered. I built a list of everywhere that small businesses go in large numbers. So all the local events, everything, right? Local events, networking events, chambers, into societies, different groups, different organizations, charities, all these types of things, right? All these types of places where these businesses all contribute or buy vendor spots or booths or conferences, anything like that. I find the niche or industry conference, and then I work with that. Now, I'm not trying to pull information. One of the most effective ways we did cold outreach in the past was by going to, for example, there's a big seminar in, I think it's in Vegas, called the Parker Seminar. And the Parker Seminar was for chiropractors. All these chiropractors would go. They would have booths for, companies that sold to chiropractors. And what I would do is I would go and I would scrape all the data from it. Right? I would get all the vendors and I would contact the vendors and say, "Hey, I saw you were at the Parker Seminar." And then I would pitch them. So I would pull the data of the vendors. But this time we're changing things. What we're doing is, instead of going straight to the vendor or the car or the business, I'm going to the host of the event, because I want that seal of approval. I want that advantage over everybody else. So we're looking at local events, conferences, charities, societies, organizations, days, like they do different event type days, right? Like farmers markets, larger scale ones, those types of crafting markets, anywhere these local businesses go, as small and large as we want, because it doesn't really matter. What you're going to see is our fulfillment cost and fulfillment time and energy is next to nothing to deliver what we're going to deliver. But let's take it a little bit further. So here was my thinking. Now remember, this is the example of my client. This is what we're doing. I'm then going to show you how we flip this into the AI employee side, the database reactivation reviews, etc. So here was my thinking. The small business owners all go to these events because they want to make more sales and they want to make more money. That's why they sign up. They buy a booth, they buy a vendor spot, they buy a stall, whatever, because they want exposure locally. They want the footfall, the customers coming through to the event. They want them stopping at their booth, asking questions, getting quotes, or signing up or buying things. They want that. That's exactly why they're there. They're there to make more money. Now, in this particular example, these business owners already use a service which is very similar to my clients. In order for them to get ready for these events and get their products ready to make sales. So that's the service that my client basically provides, right? They create the apparel, they create all the designs and the products for them to sell. They're actually the fulfillment partner that does all of that. So in order for the customer to sell their clothing at these events, they have to order from a business that's similar to my client's business. So I thought, okay, how can we swing this? How can we take it from a position where they are already doing this, but how do I get their attention? So I said, what we'll do is we'll give them a 50% discount. And I don't frame it as a 50% discount. Here's how I frame it. They increase their profit margin on every order by that extra amount with every single sale. So I'm not saying we give them 50% discounts. I'm saying at this event where you want to make sales, we can help you increase your profit margin because we can reduce your production cost by 50%. It's the way we're framing it. And then I thought, okay, that's a good reason for the business to switch. I mean, if they're going to have to pay for this anyway, if they have to create their products to sell anyway, if I can save them 50%, sure, they're going to want to do it, right? Why wouldn't they do it? So I thought the event host wants these business owners to have strong sales. And this is very, very important. So listen carefully. The event host wants these business owners to have strong sales, a successful time at their event, lots of customers. They want it to be buzzing around the room and exciting and all of that good stuff. That's what they want because the word will get out that it's a good event. The demand for the sale of the booths and the stalls will increase and they'll have repeat business every event that they run. Give me 1 second to let someone in here. So they will have far more demand for every event that they run in the future because their event was a success. It was a great thing for them. So here's what we did. I thought if I approached the event host and I offered to collaborate with them to help their vendors instantly increase their profit margin on every single sale, doing what they have to do anyways, the event host looks pretty good. My goal wasn't to make myself look or make my client look very good to these business owners. My goal was to make the event host look very, very good. Different way of framing this entirely. So all of a sudden, when we think about all the friction, the walls that go up, when you're trying to pitch something or sell something, that wasn't my goal at all. All I did was I said, look, this event host wants to look good. I'm going to make them look really, really good. I'm going to make it look as if their event is the best thing possible, better than all the rest. And I don't care about myself at the moment. That's how we get their attention. That's how we get into these networks, right? It's like you get in using the side door. Because what this does, if I can say to them, look, any customers, any vendors that want to buy a booth from you that go to your event can increase their profit margin simply because they're affiliated with you, because they're connected to you, Mr. or Mrs. Event Host. They look good. It improves the vendor experience. It improves the events overall, and it will grow the demand of the event on top. Yet, here's the kicker. We get access to 100 to 200 small businesses with the official event stamp of approval. These customers, business owners, come to us, they order for the event, they get their 50% discount, or they increase the profit margin by 50%, but then they keep on ordering afterwards as well because we know we get them locked in. So I'm basically winning the business indirectly. It's like I'm flying alongside it. I'm not attacking it and saying, look, I've got this crazy 50% offer. No. I'm making other people look good. I'm making them look as if they're the ones that are doing all the good work. I'm just getting access through the side door. And it's a beautiful way to do it because in marketing, when the webinars, the classic webinar where you would sit for 90 minutes, sometimes 3 hours at times, and it would be a rags to riches story, and you get, the highs and the lows, they'll take you through this journey, and then all the value they promised you disappear. It never materializes, right? Who remembers those webinars? It never materializes. You're just sold constantly, hard sold for a good 2 hours. And all that value they told you it never appears. Those worked really well until people started to understand the sales process. And in marketing, when someone understands, or when people start to understand and become familiar with the sales process, it becomes less effective. So what we're doing here, what you'll see is I'm hiding the sales process. They can't see the sales process. They don't know how we're making money from it. It's not obvious to them how we're making money. We're just making everybody else look good. We're making them happy. Yet the true sales process is hidden. It's not hidden in a manipulative way, or I'm not trying to hide it. It's not like a sales call, right? It's not something they say, oh, well, I'm going to opt into this, and then there's going to be some sales pitch afterwards. No, I'm just keeping the sales process back a bit. And that's what makes it so much easier for you. So what happens when we do this is we earned a high quality customer, because remember, these customers are investors in their business. They're the customers that we want. We earned a high quality customer, except all I did was created one partnership. That one partnership, that one person just happens to open the door to 100 small businesses where I'm basically being referred. And it almost feels like an exclusive benefit to work with us, right? It's an identity. They want to build identity around these events. These event owners want to build identity. They want people to feel proud that they are vendors or they have a booth at XYZ event, right? They want people to feel proud. So they have to sweeten the deal. They have to say, look, if you host at our event, you're going to get access to all these different benefits, and we can increase your profit margin just by cutting your production costs, and nobody else can access this. They look great. They look so good. Yet we get access to 100 customers who already need the service. And that's the magic of it, right? That's the magic of it. Everybody wins in this scenario. Everybody. Nobody loses. We get new customers. 100 ideal businesses from one partnership. If I do that 10 times per year, look what happens, right? The event host sweetens the deal for their customers. They look better. Their experience is better. The demand grows. The word of mouth gets out there that it's a great event. It's good news for them. And then the small business at the end of the chain here increases their profit margin. They don't have to do anything different. They increase their profit margin because we've reduced their production costs by 50% for this event. We win, the event host wins, the small business owner wins. So we create this structure where nobody can actually lose with this. That's how we get in the door. That's how we frame it. Okay, it's a little different. So what I did was I went out there and I think I just skipped. Yep. I went out there and I found 200 different networks and events. And all I did was I sent them an email and I used hyper-personalization in that email to get their attention. And the responses came back in waves. I can't describe how many responses came back. Well, because we're not trying to sell anything. I'm trying to help an event host. And I'm going to show you an example of an email in a few minutes. But the difference is I'm not selling them anything. All I'm doing is making them look better to their customers. That's all I'm doing. So I researched 200 networks. I found the contacts, which was very easy to do. And I sent them an email with hyper-personalization and I framed it. And the responses flooded in. So many of them were interested and wanted me to put a package together for their event. It improved their offering without them having to do anything. And remember what I always say. We want the business owner to have the outcome that they want without having to do anything they don't want to do. They don't want to pay any money. They don't want to put any effort in. They just want to improve their offering. So what do? I make it frictionless for them to improve that offering, for them to look better, to have more make the event more popular, to make it more well known and respected, and people wanting to have identity related to that event. I make it easy for them. Yet I got access to an ideal customer base. They did nothing. That's the beauty of it. So let's flip this around a little bit now. How do we frame this for our offers here? Okay. We're going to look at AI employees, database reactivation, reviews, referrals, and lifetime value systems. How can we take this strategy and open the door? Well, there are 26 different niches that you can operate in with these systems, 26 of them, which means you have thousands and thousands of groups and networks and niche networks, niche events, niche societies that you can collaborate with. Thousands of them, because you can spread across 26 different niches. Now, I'm going to show you the math on this. It becomes quite ridiculous. If you spend 3 months and you get 10 events on board, each of those events will typically average about 100 vendors. Okay, so that's 100 people who are attending the event and have booths. Some will be more, some will be 200, 300, some will be 20, 30, 40, 50 different booths, right? It varies. But on average, I target 100 per event. So if you spend 3 months and you work on getting 10 of these collaborations, 10 events on board with a win-win-win offer, each averaging 100 vendors, which is normal, you could very, very quickly bring in 30 paying clients without breaking too much of a sweat. You don't really have to do that much, right? Because you're not targeting 30 clients. You're getting 10. It's a third of the work. But look at the multiple. Look at the leverage here. So all this is all you have to do, the long and short of it, okay, is all you have to do is take an offer which makes someone else looks better, which doesn't cost them anything, and get 10 people who want to make themselves look better without having to pay any money to their peers, which is psychological, right? There's psychological stuff at play here. People want to look good to their peers, to the industry peers. They want to be the popular person, the person that people, they can't believe they do so much for them. People want to be that person. They want to be the helpful person. So I'm sort of playing on the psychological aspects here, right? There's a little bit of not trickery, but a little bit of magic going on here with the way we're framing things, as ever, right? As with everything we do, there's always a little magic going on. So all I'm looking to do is get 10 people who are hosting events that want to make their event even more popular without having to do anything, without having to pay anything, and they just make themselves look better. I just have to get 10 people to say yes to that. That's it. And it opens the door for this. And I'll show you why. So what kind of offer can you run here? What should you do? How would you create an offer for this type of, let's say, networking event, networking group, society, anything like this? What kind of offer can we run? The secret to this is you need to have the positioning that really hooks them in. You've got to frame it the right way, which means we have to think about what are these business owners within this network already doing and struggling with that would make their life easier. Very important short sentence there, okay? What are these business owners within that network already doing and struggling with that would make their life easier? Now, this is where I've got a bit of an offer framework that I would run here. And I'm going to show you, but I'm going to take you through it piece by piece, okay? So the first thing I would do is I would initially bring in a review offer at no cost to them. And the reason I say this, the reason I say a review offer is very, very good in this scenario, it takes you 10 minutes to install the review automation. The outcome of the service is obvious. It's digestible without any other knowledge. People don't have to know other things to understand that if they want to get more and better reviews. There's no secondary knowledge that you have to have. These businesses need to convert customers from the event. They typically have to pay $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 to get a booth. They put a lot of effort into it. They get their inventory. They have to have staff there, right? They've got to spend their time there. They've got to set up this stand and all that sort of stuff. And they've got to get hotels. They put a lot of effort into it, right? So these businesses need these customers to convert from the event. So they can't lose any from a lack of reviews. Every business needs it. Every single one. Now we can take this a step further. Here's what else I would do. I would also set up a QR code for each business, and you can do this within GoHighLevel, for the booth at no cost to them. Everybody tries to charge them for this. Set them up with a QR code at no cost, which redirects to their website. You can set up a QR code for a quick giveaway page. You can use the Ask the Studio, AI Studio Builder, to create a giveaway page for them in seconds. You can have a QR code for giveaways or events. You could have a business card type QR code as well set up for them. This takes seconds to do. But again, is very, very useful, and it makes complete sense at the event, right? Instead of having to hand things over, people can just scan the QR code and they've got a far more engaging experience. They get onto the website, they get the person's name, they get into the giveaway, they get the opt-in, they get their name and email, which is very important to them. Now, this works really, really well because when you've got the reviews, very obvious solution, you've got the QR code, you've got, say, a giveaway, quick page for them, you're giving them a complete pack. And this is the secret behind it. If you approach the event organizer with this, they improve their offering as a result of it. They can say, look, you come into, you get a booth at our event, we will get you more reviews installed, a review system installed into your business. We'll have QR codes ready for you, custom built for you, where your customers can come in, they can enter your giveaways, they can leave their information, everything. They can have the full experience right there. You can send the QR code to a video you want them to watch that works, or a quiz you want them to take, whatever it is that you want. We set up the infrastructure for you, and you don't pay anything for it. There's no cost to it. So you approach the event owner with that and say they can offer this to their customers, this entire pack for the event. They're going to get interested because it sweetens the deal for them. And they're going to allow you to collaborate and access their audience to set these up. That's the beauty of it. You get access. The business owner benefits from the service quickly, and the outcome is very, very clear. Now, from an event of 100 vendors, I would say you would get maybe 50 of the 100 installing the QR codes, installing the review system. You're not going to get 100% of them, right? Maybe you get 50% of them. But then they have to speak to you. They have to speak to you. They want, which website do you want your QR code going to? Do you want to put a video in there as well? Well, send me the URLs. What about your reviews? We've got to connect your Google business profile. We use this software here. Just integrate. Click this button, integrate it. Let me know, and we'll get you set up and good to go. Perfect. But what am I doing? I'm speaking to the business owner. They have to speak to me. The guard is down. I'm no longer selling something to them. I've got the stamp of approval from the event host that we're the trusted partner that installs this completely free for them. And then I can expose the gaps. I can expose all the additional gaps that they have. And this is where you can sell the event-only AI employee offer. For example, where you say, well, listen, you're going to get a lot of people calling, especially you're going to be tired after this event. All those leads that came in and opted in are interested. Maybe they're calling the business, maybe they're texting, maybe they're emailing you, maybe they're sending messages on the website because they're excited. You're going to be exhausted after this. You've been speaking to them all day. But if you don't reply to them, you're going to lose them. And all the effort you put into this event is gone, right? You're going to lose quite a lot of it. It's not going to be as efficient for you. You're not going to capitalize on it. But listen, we can fix that. And what we can do is we can install an AI employee that's completely trained in your business. And every event you go to in the future, it takes care of it for you. All of it. And listen, we're doing a special pricing for the event. Usually it's $2,000 to set this up. And then you've got your maintenance fee. We're waiving it. As thanks to the event host, we're waiving the setup fee. So you're saving yourself $2,000. And also all you have to do is pay the monthly maintenance fee. That's it. You just pay to maintain it. And it's only $197 a month. That's it. So I'm exposing the gap where I'm creating the problem in relation to the event. I'm giving them an exclusive offer courtesy of that event, connecting the two together. And I'm making a very easy yes. You see how we're doing that? That's the way it works. Or you sell the lifetime value system to capitalize on leads from the event itself. So again, they go to these events, they've got a bunch of leads, they follow up with them once. Well, what happens when they go home next week and maybe that person tied, as many people do. Maybe they went with their family and they went to the event and they spent the rest of the weekend on vacation. Maybe they weren't ready to contact you, but the next week they are, but they forget because they're back to work, but they wanted to contact you. Well, with the lifetime value system installed, it nurtures them automatically for you. So all the effort, the sweat and the tears you put in building those stands and making it all nice, decorating, having the hotel food that was terrible, but you just had to eat it, all the nights away from your family, all of it's worth it because you're not losing the business that you worked so hard to get because you're nurturing them. We can install that system for you into your business. Or maybe the referral system. Maybe they want referrals too. Maybe they think, well, all these people, I bet you they also know 3 other people that we could help. Hey, if we got just 1 in 3, we've got 3 times or 30% more customers just from referrals. We can install that system. And then you've got database reactivation as well, right? Which is all the leads in the past from all the events and the thousands and thousands you've spent in the past. We can reactivate those. And that's the full package. So you see how we just tie the situation, the event itself, into the way we sell the offer. I'm just creating these custom scenarios for them. That's the beauty of it. It's so right place, right time, but I'm creating the right place, right time. Everything, I've got to come up with a better word than everything is manipulated because it's the wrong word. I don't want to use that word. I want to use a better word. But for lack of a better term, everything's manipulated to be framed correctly, to be almost just feel as if it's at the perfect time. Well, you know, I do have all these leads that I've spoken to. It was great. I was excited. I was speaking to people all the time and I got their information on the QR code. Now what? What do I do with it now? Well, that's what we do with it. We follow up with them. We nurture them. That's the magic in it. So you see, we just frame this system and position it and we just work it. So work in the room. That's what we're doing. And these all fit perfectly into place. Out of the, say there was 100 vendors, 50 installs, you could convert 15 of these per event into full paying clients. 15 out of 100 vendors, let's say, into full paying clients. Yet, all you had to do is set one single partnership with the event host. You didn't have to go out and contact 100 businesses. No. They came to you, or 50 of them did. All you did was strike a deal with one single partner. That's it. Now, watch what happens when this compounds. If you do this over the course of a year, and there's, as I said, there's 26 different niches, there's thousands of events. You could do more than 10 events per year. And also when I say 10 events per year, you don't go to the events. You just work with the event. That's all you do. If you do this across 10 different events per year, that could easily bring in 150 monthly paying clients, 15 per event, 150 monthly paying clients, say at an average of $200 a month, 197. That's $30,000 a month in monthly recurring revenue. And all you did was get 10 people to say yes to a no-brainer offer to partner. That's all you did. You didn't do anything crazy. Just 10 people, 10 of the right people. That's it. You got access to their network. And hey, you could do significantly more than 10. You could do way more than 10 because you got 26 different niches. You could even set up a sales team that just do this all day long, collaborating with these people, giving them win-win-win scenarios, easy to say yes to offers, doing custom event pricing deals, sweeping up the business because you got the beautiful stamp of approval from the host. That's a leverage play. That's how we leverage this. That's how we go really fast, really, really quickly. Now, this works anywhere a group exists. You've got local events and you've got markets. So, for example, one that we did was the Taste of Charlotte in North Carolina, right? Taste of Charlotte, big food event. You'd think, well, that's not got anything to do with like clothing and such. Well, yeah, it does because they all sell merchandise, right? So you see, you think outside the box. There's ways to do this. So that was for a client, for example, right? But the point is local events and markets, even thinking outside the box, like food events, food fairs, food festivals, music festivals. There was one as well, the Comic-Con type events, right? Those, all these small businesses working at those events, software events, affiliate marketing events. There's an affiliate marketing event every 3 weeks somewhere, right? Always. And they all have these different vendors. What if you just work to get 10 hosts to work with you, where they don't have to pay anything? They just look really, really good. Their offer is better, and you get access to the network. You don't have to sponsor the event because you're not trying to get business. All you're doing is giving their customers something for free that helps them with the events. That's the difference. That's the opportunity that you have. You're not giving them some useless product. You're not trying to offer a good example here of what not to do would be, let's say there was a there's a big event in the UK called A Place in the Sun, right? And it's a holiday event, or like a living abroad event, where you go and there's different places that you can buy houses, and there's real estate agents, etc. A lot of financial companies for retirement go and try and sponsor those events and try to offer them to become clients. That's different from sponsorship. It doesn't really help with the event. Whereas what we do helps them have a more successful event. It helps the business have a more successful event as well. We're helping them with exactly what they want. That's why marketing is so powerful. That's why it works so well, because we help with exactly what they need. So local events and markets, you've got business sponsored events, networking groups, trade groups, societies, the works. The key is simply getting access to their network. Now, the reason I tell you to have a crazy good, no friction offer to enter with is because the momentum that you gain from accessing 100 business owners who all have this common goal, and the vendor stamp of approval, is far, far, far more powerful than any fee that you would charge to install a review system or like a QR code. Far, far in advance of that. Your customer base would rapidly multiply. Now, you could also, there's a little twist on it as well. You could also host workshops for these events online for their members. Okay. Now, the key with these workshops is to never sell. Do not sell. You want to give them the strategy. You want to give them everything to the point where they say, I really, really want to do this, but I don't want to do it myself. I've got no idea how to do it myself. Why don't I just ask the guy who told me how to do it if they can do it for me? It's magnetic, right? What happens is you host a workshop. There's no sales process. There's no sale. You just put yourself in the right place. That's all you have to do. You do not sell. You let the prospects come to you. You deliver incredible value. So for example, what would a workshop look like? You could host a workshop on how an AI employee works within a business, or how they integrate AI into their business. Simple as that. How they can make money without having to market using database reactivation. How they can turn on referral systems within their business, working with their existing customer base, which means their new customer acquisition cost plummets. How they get more reviews for their business from every customer and start getting more organic, intent-driven traffic from Google as a result. Don't sell them anything. Just make them want it. You just want to make them want the outcome. That's all you have to do. So you can basically approach these event hosts or networking communities or whatever that might be, and you basically say, we will host the workshop. There's nothing to buy on the workshop. We're just helping people. We're just showing them exactly what to do, how to do it. There's no sales pitch whatsoever. And it works because they're delivering value to the members. I did this recently. I did this it was a company who sold printers, right? Special kinds of printers. And I wanted to get in front of printers. So think about that. They sold this special type of commercial printer. That was their entire business, very old business. And my goal was I want to get customers who are printers, who actually print. So what did I do? I contacted the old-fashioned, slow-moving printing equipment supplier, the ink supplier, the machinery supplier, etc. I contacted them and I said, hey, listen, your audience, if they get more customers, they're going to need to buy more printers, right? Yeah, that makes sense. So if your customers are more successful, thanks to you, and they need more printers, they're going to come back to you and buy the printer from you, right? Yeah. Okay, perfect. So what I'm proposing is I'll host a workshop. There'll be no sales on it, nothing. It's pure value. And I'm going to show you your customers, all these printers, how they use these very specific plug-and-play marketing systems to increase the number of orders they get daily without spending a fortune. And it'll be directly thanks to you that they get this training. And I get access to the customer base. Now, what happens? I don't sell in the workshop. People reach out to me though. Hey, so I was really interested. Can you do that for us? How does that work? Can you show me how that works? Can we chat about this? You see how you do that? You got to think outside the box. It's not always about just charging for every, sometimes a dollar can be expensive. What I mean by that is chasing that dollar, chasing that pound or euro, whatever, chasing that can actually do you more detriment. So by offering the value to people up front and giving it to them, accessing their network, I'm leveraging their audience, which means I get 10 times more. It's almost like you run a lecture series, right? You run workshops with all these suppliers to get access to their customers. That's the beauty of it. So think about it. Think outside the box. That's what I would definitely recommend to you. Now, here's all you have to do. All you have to do is identify relevant events. You can use ChatGPT to do this. ChatGPT is very, very effective at it. All you want to do is pick a location, pick a niche, and you say, tell me local events in the area that would work for my service, that would benefit from, say, a review system and a QR code at their event, so customers can get more dynamic information in real time, and they collect the customer's information, and then follow-up systems for after the event. Give me the local events that fit that have vendors that fit that parameter, and it will literally give you a list of every one of them. Now, here's the beautiful thing. Contacting these people, very, very easy, because they want to be contacted. They want to be contacted by vendors who want to buy a booth. So they'll often have sales at something conference or vendors at something conference. If I send it to the vendor sales team, all of a sudden, these are the people who are trying to get more vendors on board. And I'm saying to the people who want more vendors on board, hey, I can help you sweeten the deal. It won't cost you anything. You don't have to do anything. We just make it better than every other conference. Got their attention. I'm contacting the right person, right? That's the difference. So all we have to do is use AI to identify relevant events. We build the list. We look at the markets, the networking groups, trade societies, wherever these customers are. Then I send a hyper-personalized email to the host if possible, or always the either the sales at conference name or what event name, or vendors at conference name. And we offer to collaborate at no cost. Then we basically onboard their members. Is this hard work over that short week before the event? Of course it is. Of course. But hey, listen, if you come out of that and you've got an extra 4,000 recurring revenue for a week's worth of work that happens every month, over the course of a month, you could build 8,000 to 12,000 in MRR just by doing short stints of hard work. And remember, it's extremely sticky and recurring revenue as well. So a little bit of sweat equity for 3 months. Look at how fast it goes for you. That's the difference. So this, when you onboard them, it opens the conversation. And with the service, it will open doors for you. as well to other services, just like I did with the AI employee there. This will likely be your highest leverage activity simply because the volume multiplies so quickly. And it creates this win-win-win scenario for everyone. Business owner wins, you win, the event host wins as well. Now, here's an example of the email that I'd send. I'm going to try and zoom in a little bit here, and it might not be perfect. I can read this fine on my screen. Can someone let me know just in the chat or something? Can you read that okay? I'll read it out to you, but can you see it well enough? Someone let me know. Yes. Okay, perfect. Okay. All right, I'll go back one. All right. So this is the email that I sent. This is literally the email that I sent, but simply framed to the AI employee perspective. And it goes, hi, hyper-personalized line. My name is Niall, and I'm with Skill Certified. I wanted to reach out because we love what you're doing for the business community, and I would always put location name for the particular area specifically. And I was wondering if you'd be open to a collaboration to support your vendors. One thing I've noticed is that every vendor attends an event for the same reason. They want to make sales and have a successful event. The more successful your vendors are, the more likely they are to come back to tell others about the event and help increase demand for future events. That's why we had an idea. We'd love to offer an exclusive, and then we've got event name, vendor growth package as a benefit of being part of your event. So I've actually coined it, right? And you can obviously change this for everyone. I've coined the event. The package would help vendors capture more leads, generate more reviews, and follow up with potential customers after the event. For example, we can provide a custom QR code for their booth that allows visitors to quickly enter a giveaway, request a quote, join their email list, or leave their contact information. We'll also help them automatically follow up with those leads after the event and generate more reviews from customers that they meet. Most vendors spend the day speaking with dozens or even hundreds of people, but once those visitors walk away, many of those opportunities are lost. This gives them a simple way to continue the conversation and generate more business from the traffic they've already worked hard to attract. We'd set everything up for them at no cost as an exclusive benefit for your vendor community. We thought it would be a great additional perk for your vendors, while helping them get even more value from every event that they attend. If you'd be open to it, we'd love to put something together specifically for event name. Looking forward to hearing from you. Now, this email, it doesn't really, events can go, the QR can go anywhere. We actually offer wherever they want to send it because they have to speak to us. Again, my goal is to get them to speak to me, right? So this email is very simple. It's very soft. I'm not selling them. I have tested putting a little bit harder. They don't have to pay anything, but it can be quite conversational as well. I like to be conversational with it. I can test variations of this, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to basically say they benefit from this package. They can give at no cost. They pay nothing and give it to all their vendors. It gets instant responses. Instant, so fast, it's crazy. And they say, I'd love to see what you put together for us. I'd love to see it. It's crazy what happens when you do this. It's crazy. And what I'm saying, Luke, is this easy? No, of course it's not easy. There's a little bit of sweat equity you put into this where there's going to be times when you're doing work and you're thinking, oh, well, I should be charging for this review system. But if you just stay the course, if you look at this and you stay the course and you say, look, I'm going to get to a point where I've got 30, 40, 50 clients paying me monthly, you accelerate to that point because you're playing a leverage game. You're not playing an individual game anymore. So that's what the email looks like. So here are the steps for you to go live. And the good news is this is my last slide today. So I was a little faster, 45 minutes. I'm usually an hour minimum. 45 minutes is a little faster. So here's your action steps. You have to select your niche. You You've got to create your offer details and your events pack. So basically, like I did there, QR codes, reviews, follow-up system. You could even have the QR code with a little what's the word? Not a quiz, but the giveaway, right? A custom giveaway for them. You can just use Studio to create the AI Studio to create a quick page for a giveaway. It will take you seconds, but I promise you, because you're doing that work, the business owner speaks to you, and all of a sudden you can lock in $197 a month, $497, $1,000 a month. You can lock it in that quickly. It's worth the conversations. Okay, and if it isn't worth the conversation with someone, you deliver, you move on. It's big picture stuff, right? This is a pathway where you can really quickly get a lot of clients under your belt. And that's not necessarily for the faint of heart, right? Because it's intense. You just go for it. It's more like a review system, Rob. You just set it up and it works in the background. So they can keep the software and it just runs. And remember, after a month, you can reach back out to them. How's it gone? I say you've increased by X amount of reviews. I've got an idea for you. That's what you say to them, right? I've got this idea. I wanted to run it past you. Open the conversation. So these leads are never dead. Never think about it like you install it and these leads are dead. No. These leads are always active and going. At any point in time, you can contact them, check in with them, because they're now in your ecosystem. Step number three, you want to use AI to locate niche-specific events and groups and their contact information. So again, I just use GenSpark or ChatGPT, or I mainly use ChatGPT for this. It's really good to get that information that I need with all the events. And I can also tell it to tell me the ones I should prioritize. It's actually crazy how well it does at this. Step number 4, you send hyper-personalized emails with follow-ups, and you want to send 500 of them. If you send 500 of them, target to collaborate with 3 events within the first month. 3 different events. You want to open those conversations with 3 different ones. Branded email address, Rob. Branded. Always branded. So 3 different events. 3 events that are half decent. You could potentially be looking at 10, 20 clients from that quite quickly, if not more. Think about how fast that is. And then you transition the prospects and hook them during the onboarding calls, etc. Hook them in with additional offers. And you want to use, we did a workshop recently. If anyone, a lot of people would have been on that, but we did a workshop recently, actually probably about a month ago now, actually, where I showed you how to frame taking someone from getting a review system installed at no cost or for low price and ascending them all the way up into a done for you offer. I showed you the sales flow, how I open and close the doors. So you've got that workshop already there, right? That's what you want to do. So that's, if you want training on that, it's already there. It already exists. It's on my channel as one of the live workshops I uploaded. That's what I'm uploading them. So it's there. The sales training on this is already there. You can just ascend the people. If you want more on how you bridge that part, that's like a whole other topic. So that's why I separated that. But you do these 5 steps. And then if you want the training on how to transition them, you've also got that training there. But that wraps us up. And I'm frustrated because I went 2 minutes over the hour mark there. I was trying to set a new record for timing as well. So I'm just going to catch up in the comments here because I know there was a couple of questions. All right, Daryl, you were asking, you mentioned we help the vendors reduce profit margin, increase profit margin, but by reducing production costs. That was for the client example, Daryl. So that was just an example I gave in terms of what I've been doing for this particular client. Of their particular offer decreases their production costs because they are the ones that produce the products for them. So that was just an example. But in our world and how we do it, we basically use the reviews, we use the QR codes to convert the leads. We think about wastage, right? There's 2 ways to look at it. You can reduce your production costs or you can convert more leads. Well, we can help them convert more leads. at these conferences. They're already paying a lot of money to be there. And it's not just the booth price. They've got staff costs, they've got hotels, they've got travel, they've got food. It's very expensive to host at these conferences. So they want to make the most of them, but they're not making the most of it. But we can help them make the most of it. So that's how you want to flip that. And you're asking, can we host a 3-day workshop that you taught us? Yeah, so I guess I answered that later on. So you might have asked that before. So yeah, you can use you can use any form of 1-day, 3-day workshop to deliver more value. Vince, you're saying there's a lot of money outside of the box because the box can only hold so much. I like that. That's good. You're right. And Olivia, you're answering Daryl's question there. Perfect. And Vince, you're asking, is the QR code set in the scanner to a lead capture page tied to CRM? Again, it could be any. They can choose. It could be sent to a capture page with like a video on it that's more engaging than the website, or it could be sent to a quiz. It could be sent to an opt-in for a giveaway, things like that, anything like that. And they can choose, and we can build it for them. The works. And Robert answered those questions. And I'm breaking a record tonight on time, yeah, and value one to many. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I think this works really, really well. And Scott, you're saying some of us might want to consider replacing the basic HR reviews offering with a more valuable review platform. Potentially, honestly, my perspective is always, if it does the job, it does the job. With the review systems, the business owner just wants the reviews in. So my focus is always going to be just get it operational, because they'll forget about it. We just have to show them the outcome all the time. So don't overcomplicate it too much. Just keep it simple. And yeah, just keep it. I just say keep it simple. Keep it as simple as you can. And if there's a simpler one, go for it. Absolutely, absolutely. Like there's other ones that like Klimbo and things like that, or Climbo, however you pronounce it. But yeah, absolutely. All right, I've made my way through the comments there. Does anybody want to ask any questions? And do they want any? Rob, you're asking in the chat there. How does the event host present the offer QR reviews to the vendors? No, it's not even our partner has this offer. It is simply a case of, let's say let's just go with the Parker seminar because it's that was in my head. Let's say we partnered with a Parker seminar. It's basically an exclusive benefit of becoming a vendor at the Parker seminar is that we can set up all of your systems when it comes to the event itself, from your QR codes to building up your customer reviews to your follow-up with leads and automating all of those processes. We do this at no cost for you as an exclusive benefit for being part of this festival. That's all they would say on your behalf. You basically collaborate. You're kind of one-on-one with them, right? That's all it is. And then we do this through our expert automation partners who are kindly doing it for you at no cost. That's just how you frame it. Yemi, you're saying, would you be open to running like a 1-month intensive to go deeper with this strategy for those of us interested? Yeah, I could definitely do that. Yeah, definitely do something like that. If people are interested in that, let me know. And Christina, you're saying, I'm a platinum member of a local networking group. I'm wondering if I can offer this to them as an exclusive. Yeah, absolutely, 100%, definitely. They would love it because they're looking. You got to remember, you're not doing it to get more business for yourself. You're doing it so they get more members. That's the pitch, at least. That's the frame. So yeah, definitely do that. Jason, you're asking, do we ask the vendor what they want to connect to, or do we make suggestions for the QR code? Sometimes they'll have something already there, but you can make suggestions. Yeah, you can make suggestions. If that's Manny or if that is Vince and Plato, will there be notes for this? Yes, there will be recordings and notes and everything as well for this sent out after the call too. Olivia, you got a question? Feel free to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I got a quick question just because you mentioned, you say like, we put in place the review system and then it runs by itself. But for me, in the review systems, in order to have it running, someone needs to take an action at some point, either putting a tag on some contact Or how do you do that automatically for the client that someone in his team normally needs to, or is it just on confirmation of appointments, or how does it work then on that part?
This one in particular works through the event itself. So for example, you could have, just like through the QR code, if there's an opt-in, you can connect it so that whenever someone opts in, it doesn't have to necessarily be a review of the service. It can just be a review of your experience with XYZ company at this event. And oftentimes, if you look at the reviews, I met this company at such and such a conference. They were really nice people. I loved their service offering. You'll see a lot of the times reviews are like that. So it doesn't have to be like that. And also, you can connect. I know a lot of people have, or a few people have asked for this, but you can connect to basically, if they wanted to connect it as a full-time type thing, you can connect it to any, if they wanted to use it as a full-time service, you can connect it to any CRM using Zapier, basically. And that way, well, that way it just works with whatever their current CRM is and their sales process. So when someone, however they mark customers having paid or whatever they currently do.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to figure out what's the trigger basically for the automation. And okay. So
completely depends
the process, we identify that in the process, and then we do it with a Zap or a webhook. Back to the thing. Okay. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's clear. Okay. Thank you.
No worries. No worries. Wait, go for it.
Hey, brother. I had a friend of mine who had a marketing company, and he did something similar. He offered the person giving the event, the partner, if you will, a vendor directory handout for the event. And then he went around with Zoom and interviewed each one of the vendors and asked them about their business and give me more information. And he was going to put all that, he put all that in the directory, and it gave him an idea of, he had a connection. It was because he was partnered up with that event, and he was able to sell a lot of websites or upgrades on websites, because one of the questions he asked is, what are you going to do when you get all this attention at this event? This is going to be a big event. And that was really, he did really, really well there. I hadn't thought about that till you start bringing all this up.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would work as well. It's open. It's just opening the conversation both ways. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you've got to do.
You get all their personal information. You want to talk to the owner, find out how he got started, and what's going on, and what's your strongest offer, that kind of thing. What are y'all going to offer at the event? Any kind of specials? And then they put that all in the directory so that people, when they were walking through the expo, they could say, hey, let's go over here. They got something they're handing out, or they're doing something special over here, that kind of thing.
Yeah, you could do a, this just came to me there as you were saying that. You could do an onboarding call with every single, and again, I say this because I'm willing to do it, but I would do it with every single person, every single vendor. And the way I would frame it is, we are marketing experts. We know how to get customers to convert. What we do is we help you map your strategy to make the most of this conference. How you set up your systems will show you exactly what the most successful people do. And as you progress through that 30-minute phone call, here's what the most successful people do. They have this in place. Do you have that in place? No? Well, listen, we can take care of that for you. We have it in our event pack. Perfect. Well, who takes the calls then? Because you're in the ground here, and you're going to have calls happening all the time. Who takes that?
No.
Oh, perfect. Oh, listen, that one's not in the event pack, but we do have a $2,000 fee waived on it if you're interested. A $2,000 fee? Yeah, definitely interested. What? Tell me more about that. So you just open the door with it like that.
Yeah. Yep. Pretty awesome.
Yeah. The effort wins. I'll tell you that. Olivia?
Yeah, wait, if I can rebound on your strategy, there's a whole directory system existing in GoHighLevel in the marketplace called Smart AI Directory, where you can set up a complete directory for that kind of event with GoHighLevel. So yeah, it's just 97, but yeah, you will be able then, if you absorb the costs, it's a decision. But if you see that it's a strong offer, if you absorb the cost, then you have the ability to create that for a vendor, and then yeah, get that special extra offering for them to get the opening for that. And it's yeah, it's quite straightforward to put together. So yeah.
The one thing I hate about anything that now opens his mouth and tells us is it opens up a whole can of worms, all these other things we can do. It's just crazy.
Yeah. You gotta have
what I like is like it's one too many. I've been spending so much time to do a one-to-one, but I love this strategy that put you in front of, like you get one partner, and then you get a whole bunch of people that you can have access to through that person. So yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah,
and that partner can give you a lot of insight about that individual vendor, because I probably know him personally or know him well.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'm going to shut up now. I'm just going to sit back and learn.
It's so good. Daryl, you're asking, how do we communicate info? Oh, first, actually, Christina, yes, exactly. Christina said in the chat there, suppose that even if they don't sign up straight away, they're in your funnel, so you can keep nurturing them. Exactly. They're in your world. And once they're in your world, they pop up at different times. And that becomes your internal pipeline. And that's a really powerful position to be in. Daryl is asking, how do we communicate info about our offer? We don't. We basically tell them how to do it, and then they ask, how do we do that? They come to you for that. And you don't need to set up a booth or anything like it. You don't go to the event. Yours is entirely digital. You're nothing to do with the event. You're just helping on behalf of the vendor, and it's mostly pre-event stuff before anyone's even at the location. So all your stuff is done digitally. You don't need any of that stuff. You don't need brochures either, because you're not promoting your offer, remember. All we're doing is helping them. The event host themselves send details to their audience about this free benefit that their vendors get, and they book, say, onboarding calls or whatever it might be, because it's a free service. And then on that free service or that onboarding call, that's where we can have those conversations, and we can work them into whatever position we need to go. So we're never selling. We're never selling. You're welcome. All right. All right. Does anybody else have any other questions they wanted to cover? No.
Thank you, Niall.
No, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. This was very, very informative, and just like my brain's just going overdrive now.
That's what I like to hear. But it's good, because you should see my to-do list. My to-do list is always really big, but I just work my way through it. That's the way I do it. So I've got all these ideas, lots of ideas about, or I have lots of strategies that I launched, like different funnels, different systems, and it's a long list, but I just work my way through them. I just work and work and work and work and work. So these types of ideas, I just get it, I systemize it, I get it live, and I go and I move on to the next thing. So this is how we can operate with such speed, right? We just bit by bit by bit. And just in the chat there, I'm just catching up with it here. We did that with the digital visit cards, but my mistake was trying to sell them. Yep. More in-depth training next week would be awesome. We should have more of this. Yep, for sure. Can definitely do more. Zidane, have you got a question?
Yes, I do. In fact, well, first of all, that was a great workshop.
Perfect. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was tons of good information. And also, if you don't want to use the word manipulated, you can maybe just use orchestrated. I think that would be.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, it's better phrasing.
A bit nicer.
Yeah. So my question is not relevant to today's calls, but I would just like to know more information on how the lifetime value system works and the referral flywheel. But if you already have a YouTube video or recording or explains how that works in the back end, you can just send me the link and skip the question.
Okay. Well, the lifetime value system is a tough one because technically database reactivation and the lifetime value system are very closely related. Okay. Now, the problem I've got is I can't call them both the same thing because people have preconceived notions as to what database reactivation is based on what GoHighLevel says it is, right? It's basically reactivating old leads. The way I see the lifetime value system is reactivating those leads throughout the year. But for example, let's say it was the electricians. You've got an EV installation campaign. You're reactivating, but a very specific product type. You've got the whole home surge protection campaign. You've got the winter switchover campaign. You've got the outdoor power campaign for the summer. You've got rental unit compliance, safety checks. That's the lifetime value, right? All the different types of scenarios that the business might run through. It could even be Black Friday. It could be Christmas. It could be anything. Throughout the year, you're just reactivating the database from different points. That's extending the lifetime value. That's what it is. So you see what I'm saying is very closely related to reactivation, but it is different. You see, yeah.
Yeah, that does make sense. I was just wondering how. Guys, I haven't like even went through it yet, so I just
Sure.
Yeah.
That's okay. And the referral system is relatively straightforward. Basically, it is a system where over the course of time, it nurtures that prospect to simply refer any friends with special offers that they have throughout the year. You know, refer a friend and get 10% off, or both of you get 10% off. Refer a friend, and if they get a new roof, we'll send you $1,000 or $500 or whatever the offer is. So it's just working that person to refer their friends. I remember when I worked in finance, and we used to have these things called fact finds. That was like a brochure type thing, but it had you'd sit with the client and you'd write the information on the document, and at the back of it, it was always, and remember, this is like the first meeting with the client ever, who isn't a client yet. They're just a prospect.
Yes.
And you just sit down with them, and at the end of the conversation, you had to flip to the back, and you had to ask them, and that was the rule. You had to ask them, give me the name of 5 friends that you know that you think would benefit from a conversation with us. And if you didn't come back with those 5 names, your boss would kill you. And it was, it was like the Wolf of Wall Street. It was like that. So you'd be in huge trouble for doing that. But it worked. It worked. So we can do things like that, just a little softer, a bit nicer, a bit more normal, less boiler room, Wolf of Wall Street kind of stuff, but more just take the things that work and do them a bit better, a bit cleaner. That's all we're doing.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Well, the last thing that I wanted to make sure, like, are the messaging for the referrals and the systems are already put into GoHighLevel, or you only just created the workflows and left that empty so we can just customize it however we want?
They're already in the workflows. All the copies already there, so you can still customize it however you want to.
Yeah,
but they're already there as well.
Okay, perfect. Well, one more question.
Sure.
It's about the Google My Business optimization in Google Maps. Do you have any like training or checklist for that?
We do within the portal somewhere. Yeah, we do have one in the portal. I'll have to ask support exactly where it is, because we've got like, must be like 88 SOPs for all these different processes over the last 4 or 5 years that we've created, and we've updated them all, so that they are there. I just need to know exactly where to find them.
Okay, perfect. So I could just find them in the content portal, right?
Yeah. Specifically, there's an SOP for it.
Okay, yeah, perfect. I will look into that later. Okay, I think that's it. Yeah, thank you.
All right, no worries. No worries. Does anybody else have any questions? Feel free to ask. Jason?
Is this like open forum questions or specifically about all of this?
As long as it's not about A2P, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay, then never mind.
So, what's the question about A2P? In terms of A2P, I would have to get most likely Alyssa to help with that one in particular because she does it all day. But yeah,
Well,
let me know.
So it's kind of a straightforward question in the sense that, I've applied for the number, and you got to go through the process, right? And it's saying I need to put their chat widget embed code into the website.
Mm-hmm.
But when you do that, then that screws up our chat widget that we're trying to push out there. And so that's basically where my stall point is. Everything works great, as far as the voice and all that, but when it's trying to actually it says it's going to text me the demo booking. There's no texting going out. So that's just my stopping point. And I've gone through what Alyssa said, but I just can't get past this. And I don't know if I'm missing something or if this is more of a, something that needs to be handled through customer support.
So when it comes to the verification process overall with their chat widget, right? The reason they're given a lot of that stuff is to get it passed. And their soft rule is kind of just change it after the fact, right? It's kind of like put their stuff in there, get it passed, get it live. You can switch it after the fact. That's often that's what they advise you to do because theirs is set up for compliance. That's the idea. Okay.
So can I share my screen so you can see? Because I think I understand what you're saying.
You can. Yep. There you go.
Can you see that?
Yes. So it's saying the chat widget was look at the chat widget is not good on your website. Right. Okay. So, oh, you're muted, Jason. You're muted.
Yeah, I lost you for a second. I don't know if when I tried to share it, something happened. I don't know what happened, but
I saw it. So did you put their chat widget and try to get it approved? Have you tried that yet?
well, I had it in there and it screwed up my chat widget. So, and it was approved, but when I took it out, then it told me that I had to go back and reapply. That's what happened. So that's what was so frustrating.
Okay. I'm gonna have to get support to help with that one because there's a way to do it, but yeah, the way to do it was they allowed you to switch after the fact, but if it's now flagging that it's switched, we've got to figure that out how that's fixed. But I'm sure they'll have an answer for it. So
yeah, because there's obviously there's one for the process is you get a phone number for each of the voice demos, and so I've got to do it for each demo that I'm going to be showing because I've got a couple of clients that I already that are in different niches that I want to show them this. So
yeah, gotcha. Yeah, we'll get it over the line with it because we've got all of them active. So we obviously don't have that. So I just have to ask support basically what from a technical perspective, what's the difference? So I'll speak to them. Now that I've seen the problem, and if I don't, again, I'm not sure if it's Manny or Vince there at Plateau AI support. If it's both of you, I will send the response out to WhatsApp so you'll be able to see that too. If you have the same problem.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
No worries.
Thank Richard you for this. This was actually fantastic. This is a great idea.
I appreciate it. This is what we try and do every week. And today was a tough one because honestly, we've been up all night. So it was one of those ones where you try to put it together and you think it's going to be shorter, but hopefully it hits the point. But I think it did. But yeah, it's going to sleep after this. This is what we're doing. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah. How is the dog?
He's not great. He's not great. I'm
sorry to hear that.
Yeah, We'll see. We'll see how he gets on. We'll see if he has to go for more. Like his stuff, his scans have been sent to like a specialist, so we have to wait for that and see what that comes back as. And if not, you have to get him an MRI scan, and we have to get surgery and stuff like that. But hopefully, we'll do whatever he has to do. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. The hard part is we lost our other dog about 2 months ago, so that's kind of it's a bit more raw than probably would be, generally speaking, because we're more sensitive to it. So yeah, the joys.
Yeah.
That was our day. But anyway, I won't bring the mood down any further. Richard, in the chat there, you're asking, I'm going over the hyper-personalization leads and emails sent out. What training should I go to for that? So there's two. First of all, if you want to know how to clean the list, for example, get the emails ready, there's a great workshop that we did. Again, it was about 5-6 weeks ago, I'd say. I lose track of time with these workshops, but 5 or 6 weeks ago, I'll post it in the chat. Alyssa just sent it out the other day to, I think maybe to Vince and Manny actually, but I'll get it posted in the chat so you can see that. That's a great video to watch. And if you want to know how to use the hyper personalization engine itself, the demos of that software are actually after the login part. So if you log into that system, you'll see the demo of how to drag and drop your leads and things like that. So that'll cover that off for you. Daryl, you are asking, is it viable for us to set up an affiliate marketing network? Absolutely. Definitely. You could, this is kind of what it is though, right? You could set up, anybody who has societies, like insurance companies are great for it, because they often, what they would do is they would do presentations. For example, I'd actually encourage you to change the thinking away from affiliate marketing more into a referral network of your own. So for example, there's a property company here that they refer all their legal business to a certain partner, so that the two companies work together and they just refer business to each other. Then there's accountants that refer business to mortgage brokers, like self-employed people to mortgage brokers that deal with that. It's just these referral networks, right? You could create that for yourself. You could create like associations, things like that, of business owners, like the insurance institutes or the real estate association, trying to get these smaller local associations and partnering with them. That would work really, really well. Again, present offers, present workshops, the works. And Scott, yeah, just how's the dog? Yeah, not great. As I said, not great. Richard, I'm just catching up here, folks. Setting up a cheat sheet for myself to have everything. Yes. I have customer supportsummary.com content. Yep. I don't think leadmash.io maybe, Richard, for the leads themselves is a good source. You could use any lead source though. That's, as I said, that's not an affiliated thing with us. That's just the cheapest one. So leadmash.io is a good one. And is there anything else you're missing? I don't think so. I would say put my YouTube channel at Skill Certified in there, because there's a lot of workshops and things that are useful that you'll find in there. I would say that as well. That's about all you're missing. Zidane, do you have another question, or did you just leave your hand up? There you go. Yeah, okay. I thought so. Kristen, you're saying you've got accountant contacts, insurers, etc. I can offer their clients this. Yeah, exactly. Accountants are great because all of their clients, especially in the UK, are all business owners.
Sorry, I left myself muted. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have another question?
Yeah, it's not a question. It's just that I found the resource for basically outsourcing the GoHighLevel support. It's basically the business, and I just wanted to share. Maybe Jason would be interested in that. So basically, what these guys do is they take care of the onboarding call and fixing all the A2P GoHighLevel tech stuff. So probably you should check them out if he's like looking for an outsourced help with the tech stuff for Google AI, for GoHighLevel. I
would say they were very, very good, but they dramatically increased their prices for anything worthwhile now. So it's not as effective until you've got a significant amount of clients. So it does work. It's just, yeah, you used to be able to get it for like $97 a month, and I don't even know what their pricing is now. They just dramatically changed their offering. So
I see.
yeah, a little bit stuck in the middle with that one. But again, I'm trying to figure out what we can do there, because a lot of people need to go high level support and things like that. So
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, they just are called like Extendly. If anyone wants to go get,
yeah, there's that one. Yeah,
yeah, you know about that?
Extendly. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, that's it.
All right,
Thank
thank you.
Mhm.
And Richard saying, sorry about your puppies. I'm a huge dog person myself. What's your use? It's just at skill certified. That's it. Oops, what happened there? Oh, now I'm captioning myself. That's weird. All right. At skill certified. That's it there. Just put that into YouTube. You'll find it. And yes, Daryl, we have kitchen and bathroom remodelers under the 26. That is in there. All right. All right. Any other questions before we wrap up for the day? No? Okay. Okay. All right. Well, this call will probably be a bit faster in terms of the upload, because it's a shorter call. The longer ones are what take so long. Google doesn't send me this stuff for ages. So this one should come faster. I'll get the recording uploaded with the notes and such, and let you all know when it has been uploaded. And if you have any questions in the meantime, anything that we've discussed here that you want answers to after the fact, like the A2P stuff, pop it in the chat, because I use that like which trading link is it? Oh, we'll send it to you in WhatsApp, Richard. We'll send it to you in WhatsApp, as in the chat itself. So we'll pop it there. But yeah, I use WhatsApp. So what happens on WhatsApp is I don't miss messages. If they stack up, I always go back to the last one I've responded to and go through them. So I use it like a log, right? I use it as like a way to keep track of everything. So if there's ever anything you need, just leave it in there, and I'll find it, and we'll get it over to you. All right. All right. Well, thank you for coming, everybody. I hope you found some benefit and insight in that. And yeah, as ever, any questions, just let us know, and we'll have you taken care of, okay? All right, everyone. I'm going to close the call now. Speak to you all soon. See ya. See ya.